Hey guys, got another stream for Screamortality submissions today. Thanks for tuning in, and here's the games we've got left to play. So one new one up on the top of this list appeared here called Hikeback, which actually was had sounds designed by the same artist that created sounds for Nightmare, which is the game that I worked on. So that's one that we'll be playing today. And then besides that, we'll be skipping down to the bottom two rows down here. That's just in submission order. So let's go ahead and kick this off with Hikeback, created by Clown. So let's see, what do we got here? Let me tell you a story. Oh, appears to be a 15,000 words. Oh, that seems like a text adventure sort of deal. Alright. Run game. What options we have? Okay. It was late that night. I was driving through some backwoods to visit a friend. Then I spotted something on the side of the road. That's when I first saw you, sticking your thumb out, looking for a lift. So I decided to stop and help you out. The night was so dark I could barely see your face, but I managed to catch a glimpse of you through my faded headlights. Your front was smeared with dirt and grime, and your hair stuck out in every direction. You asked me for a ride to the next town over, and I said yes. I watched you climb into the back seat. We rode together in silence for miles. There was no radio signal out here, so music wasn't much of an option. I could barely hear you breathing. Sometimes I forgot you were there at all. I could feel myself starting to nod off. Dust in the headlights swam in lazy streams. And just as I started to drift away, something pierced through my stomach. Alright, so first impressions. Text adventures are generally not my cup of tea, but I'm actually a little bit into this just because I think it's the sound design, which, good job, Sam. So I think the fact that it's having a nice ambiance sound wise is helping draw me into this, even just a plain text narration thing here. So anyone who's planning to do text adventures, focus on the ambiance a lot. The text is your story, but that'll help people know that your story is. It'll help people It'll help draw people into the story. Your arms were around my waist from behind the seat, fingers clutching at bloody scalpel. My throat closed up, my mind went blank. My senses screaming, I lost control of the wheel. My head was pounding. Needles prickled across my skin, cut with shattered bone and shrapnel. Every breath I took harder than the last. There was no one else in these woods. There was no one around to help. I was going to die here. Next to me, I could see you coughing up blood. Your arms were embedded with broken glass. I asked you why you did it. There was no point, after all. Now we were both going to die, with no one around to find our bodies. You gave me a wry smile as my vision faded to black. You spoke with a voice like gravel and serrated teeth. You told me you couldn't help it. It was in your nature. Was there a game here? Alright, I thought I was just watching the intro, and then it seemed to end. Alright, that's an issue. There also definitely wasn't 15,000 words in what I just, what I've read in the last however many minutes I've been streaming. 8 minutes. Well, this is playing through differently. I guess you play through once and then you play through again and it's something different. Is there a town nearby? I can tell just by listening to you that you desperately needed a drink. Unfortunately, I didn't think the half-empty soda sitting in my cup holder would cut it. There should be a gas station at the next exit, about a 20-minute drive or so. You chewed your lip in silence. Do you want me to take you there? You nodded slowly. Please. So I stepped back towards the car and opened the door to the... Well, I'm getting decisions at this time. Backseat was where I was last time, and that's where I killed him, I think. The passenger's side. He seemed harmless enough, and there was no point in being rude. You didn't move. Everything okay? Still nothing. Figured you were just nervous. I didn't blame you. This was a pretty weird situation. Then noticed you were mumbling something under your breath. Not the... Hey, no worries if it's too much, okay? If you want, I can always call a police station nearby and have them pick you up. No. Refusal so quick, I had to take a second to even register it. Must have struck a nerve. Without another word, you brushed past me and slid inside. I tried to give your shoulder a reassuring pat as you got in, as reassuring as I could manage anyway. You almost hit your head on the roof when my hand made contact. Put that on. I'm not moving this car until you do. You blinked at me slowly before pulling on the seatbelt. You examined it like it was a foreign object as you crossed it over your waist and hooked it into the buckle. With a sigh, I turned back towards the wheel and started up the engine. The radio still wasn't working. It was really starting to piss me off. Guess there wasn't much of a signal that far out. And all the while, you hardly made a sound. It was like you weren't even there. But you were. I checked. Quiet as a corpse with your cheek pressed against the window. We drove for miles, endless stretches of the same road, the same trees, the same dark expanse. For all we knew, we could have been driving in place. Things started getting blurry. My eyelids were heavy from the weight of all the hours on the road. I didn't want to risk falling asleep behind the wheel, so I went ahead and downed the last of my energy drink. It was long since flat, the sugar and gunk and artificial flavors all stuck to my teeth. Gross. I needed something more substantial to keep me awake. Music would have been fine, but the radio still refused to cooperate. What to do? Oh, right. As I heard you shuffling around in your seat, I realized that some friendly conversation could definitely keep me up. Hardly knew anything about you, after all. You were just a total stranger. No harm in breaking the ice, right? So I glanced over towards you and spoke. Hey, so what are you... I managed to see your scalpel seconds before it went straight through my eye. The next thing I knew, we were both crashing through the windshield. was it a boulder, maybe? I couldn't tell. As soon as my vision went red, the wheel slipped out of my fingers and we crashed straight into something. My head was pounding. The muck that was left of my eye leaked down my chin. The only thing that kept me from passing out was the pain. Needles pricked across my skin, shattered bone and shrapnel. Every breath I took was harder than the last. There was no one else in these woods. There was no one around to help. As soon as I hear next to me, I heard you yelp in pain. Through the blood, I saw your leg twisted in ways it never should be. This was the end for both of us. Instead of screaming, crying, begging for my life, all I could feel was anger. My mouth started moving before my thoughts could. What the fuck is wrong with you? Every word tasted like iron. Because of this. Because of you. Now we're both dead. Even with my sight melting away, I felt your eyes boring into me. Is this what you wanted? Your head lolled to the side as you choked and gasped, wiping your mouth on your arm. The veins in your neck bulged. I could see them clearly now. I wanted to wrap my hands around your throat and squeeze more than I've ever wanted anything in my entire life. No. Then why? I pounced on your response like a rabid animal. I had to know. I deserved to. I heard your nails scrape across the gravel, hair curtaining your face. Who? What? You cleared your throat and tried again. Your voice was thick with blood. Whose fault is this? Answer me. Whose fault? Who is to blame for this ending? The one to blame is... you, obviously. You stabbed me in the fucking eye. Impossible. I gotten too heated. I had to take a second to wheeze, feeling my lungs sting. What possible reason could you have had? Done. I stopped in my tracks, mouth hung open like a dead fish. What? There was no reason at all. Because it was not a reasonable thing to do. Somehow it felt like you were speaking much clearer all of a sudden. And I saw movement in your direction. Were you standing up? I did it because I am a bad person, is all there is to it. I couldn't keep the eye I had left open. I couldn't keep the eye I had left open any longer, even as my mind raced. I felt someone, you, right next to me. A creeping heat that sent goosebumps running up my neck. Because for people like me, I heard the smile in your voice. It's in my nature. Alright, I thought that was the end. Alright, so I guess you play through this a bunch of times and get a bunch of different endings. So it's more like reading a story with some atmosphere, which is alright. But I guess a lot of the text adventures that I've seen in this game jam, I think this was probably the best of those. If for no other reason than the atmosphere. And the concept of playing through the game multiple times is interesting. I didn't like the fact that I didn't have any options the first time. I literally just thought I was watching the intro. So that's one that'll be one thing I would recommend. So enjoyment, what is this? Horror, stories, pretty good. Sound design, excellent. Aesthetics, pretty good. Aside from not wild on the hand-drawn things, but it was all utilized well. Alright, rating saved. Okay, let's go down to where I was on this list. I believe Samsara, it wasn't Samsara that I played before. It was something else black and white up here. So that was this one, Sylvie. Alright, Samsara. Another browser game. It's a little platformer. Puzzle horror game, you'll die a lot. Depending on the choices you make, you're alive. While you're alive, you get some good or bad karma, which affects your form after being reborn. Use every form's advantages and try to get out of this deathly cycle. Okay, this is might be similar vibes as the last game. We play through a bunch of different different times to try and get the good ending. Your death happens quite a lot. It'll happen to you too, but don't worry, you'll be fine. Or not. Yeah, see, when someone dies here, he may come back as something else. I think it's about karma or whatever. The point is, if you do bad things, you'll go down a peg or two. And if you do good things, you may improve your state. What, don't believe me? Then try for yourself then. Maybe you'll find your way out. Alright, I think I'm gonna just press every button. There's a doggo. I pet the doggo. Alright, it's a good game. 5 stars. I can pet a doggo. If I wanted to go downstairs, how would I go? Okay. What? Oh, we're on a timer here. Oh, there's a timer over here in the corner of the screen where I literally never looked. If you want to die faster, well, you can just will it very hard, right? Plus, press R for 3 seconds during the die. Alright, so apparently WADS fully works. Arrow keys don't. That's strange. Only humans can open doors. I'm guessing only... Oh, I can't even get over there. The performance of this game seems pretty bad. Admittedly, I'm running at a huge resolution with like multiple streams going and stuff like that, but it's a little odd that only humans can open doors, but anyone can turn a lever. I've got 22 seconds left as a bat. What can I do here? Really? It bugs me that spider webs, which for all intents and purposes seem like they're just decor, block me. You know, it's impressive how many people end up here. When you die and live it again a lot, it really makes you thinking. Oh, by the way, you know you can guess what you'll become when you die, right? Yes, just reflect on yourself a little. I believe there are 4 states possible for each individual. How many did you reach yet? I guess I'm going to be a spider next time. Does that mean I'll actually be able to go through webs? Yeah, anyway, like I was saying, I want to do some sort of optimization of the performance of this game, because so far I haven't had any games that have had this bad performance, despite having the same setup, full screen and all that. I'm going to pop out a full screen and see. Oh no, it's still bad. It's just bad and small. Alright. Well, appear to be able to do anything else. Let's go ahead and die. It's a bit of spider. It's gonna go through the web. Feed some humans. Some came back as furniture. My best friend is actually a chair right now. I'm sure it'll be fine. Alright, so I'm gonna go and end that game here. When I think of Samsara, atmosphere is excellent. Performance is bad given how simple it is, which hasn't been the case for other Unity WebGL games. So it's not just a matter of the available technology. Honestly, the biggest issue that I have with it is these spider webs absolutely do not look like obstacles. There's just a general inability to tell what is foreground and what is background. Like this definitely looks like a just background element, but it blocks me. The spider webs, like this one in particular, is that's just decoration, and yet it blocks me for some reason. Now this does look like it's a thing I can interact with accurately. Yeah. But other than that, I like the concept. I like the aesthetics. Sound design is pretty good. So let's go ahead and drop some ratings on here. Enjoyment, let's give that a 4. Horror, yeah, sure. Story, it's okay. Sound design is excellent. Aesthetics are pretty good. I'm actually going to drop enjoyment 1 because of the issues that I mentioned. There wasn't really a category specific enough for those. Alright, so that was Samsara. So let's move on to this next game. It's called The Continuance. It's in this The Continuance Optimized. Okay. While that's downloading, let's see what else we got. Darkness Personified is going to be up next. Extract all. Alright. The Continuance. Greetings, fair one. I shall be your reaper. For failing to accept this gift, you've been chosen to accept his purification. Fear not, both are true honors. I shall escort you to the purification grounds, where you will witness his magnificence. So WASD is movement, mouse is look, Z is crouch, Q and E are actions. Continue. Should this be interactive right now? Nothing's happening. Alright, so despite what it said on the intro opening screen, I have controller controls, and the mouse and keyboard don't work at all. So that's odd. Alright, X is crouch, circle is jump. Like I say, X and circle, I'm not even using a PlayStation controller. It's just how I think of those buttons. This has got a really cool look to it. Am I supposed to be able to read this? Oh. Humanity will give up their organic forms, will be gifted with forms of pure living metal from beyond the threshold. They will become linked to the being, each other, and everything on Earth. Hi. Apparently interacting with those things makes them blow up. Another note here. The hold of the being does not take over the gifted immediately. So I've used the little time that my mind remains my own to leave these notes for any with more strength than I. Strength to find a way to escape the grasp of this monster. I've also left guidance pillars to help you direct your travel through the grounds. Follow them. I cannot guarantee that you'll always be safe because the being's minions are everywhere, but they will allow you to navigate more easily. Proceed to a large building with a chain-link fence. On either side of it, there is a hidden entrance behind some crates against the wall. Move carefully, though, as the enemy can disguise themselves as any objects at all, including the very crates you will have to move to get into the building. Alright, so large buildings, chain-link fence on either side of it, a hidden entrance behind some crates against the wall. Okay. Put away. So is there going to be another jump scare? Fence. There's something about crates. Like how the walk animation is drastically slower than my actual movement. Crates. Presumably one of these is going to turn out to be an enemy somehow. Just the wrong thing. That's a little bit more secret entrance like. So I have a crouch ability, but it doesn't crouch enough to get me through this. Remind you to stay vigilant when moving. The being uses sections of itself to form foot soldiers to assist the Reapers in herding the planet's remaining frail. They're able to take the shape of anything they desire and to lie in wait for any unsuspecting prey or just to spy on those conspiring against the higher forces. Tell me what you are. A warning to the frail and to the gifted. A signal of his magnificence. It's becoming hard to form coherent thoughts now, as I suspect that my mind may not remain my own for much longer. I can do my best to leave you any further wisdom I can manage. What happens if I feed you a crate? Nothing. You don't even interact with the crate physically. Oh, there's another room. I think, or is this the one the way I came? Or not? No, it's not the way I came, because I definitely don't recognize any of this. Rude. Hi. Before the crowd, blah, blah, blah. Previous unknown frequency of light that could momentarily resist the being. Okay, so that was the continuance. Enjoyment, I would say fairly good. Horror, it's okay. Story, so aesthetics, that's a tough call because, like, on the one hand, you had this like wonderful, this wonderful black and white look, which like really looks nice, and really sets the atmosphere, and then you have this like, this red text notes crap. Which was really awful to the point of drawing me out of the game. So that's very much a mixed bag. I'm going to end up at 3 there, I think. Sound design, I can't fault sound design anywhere. Sound design was really good. Alright, let's move on. So we got Darkness Personified next. It's a browser game here. WADs, hold left shift to run, interact as E, look around as the mouse. Let's try this again. Full screen might be pointless. You know what this aesthetic reminds me of is the Journeyman project, which is like a 90s sort of Myst-style adventure game. Not even the amount of lights I own can light the dark anymore. Please go away. I'm going to try... It's still very small. Let's make it big this way. It seems to be as big as I can make it. Not even the amount of lights I own can light up the dark anymore. Please, please go away. I remember this day. We went to the park and enjoyed the view. I still can't smell the water just by... I can still... That is just can. The small text is making me think that it is making this text a little hard to read. In fact, I'm going to see if I can retool this so you guys can read that easier. Yeah. Any better? Alright. The lights are casting shadows. This is Lucky's favorite ball. He would spend hours at the dog park if he could, running up and down through the grass like the Flash. You would think he would get tired. He would come flying back into the apartment with the zoomies ready to keep playing. I beat the nails harder into the wall. One picture can't hide it. One giant picture. One picture can hide it. No one would ever think to look there. Open the fridge? Of course not. Sometimes it's hard to eat when it feels like someone's watching you. 24/7 they're watching. But the second they turn their back, it's snack time. I don't even like being out here anymore. I just want it to go away. Oh, it's the bathroom. Nothing better than a box to hold something traumatizing in the hopes that you can suppress the feelings. It's not someone's teeth or the lock of their hair. I'm not crazy, though it is something I do not want anyone to know about. My old childhood diary. Why can't I remember that? I've picked it up, apparently. The floor plan of this house doesn't make any sense. Is this a walk-in closet or what? Me trying very hard to find something to enjoy about this game. Do you say something about the painting or just about that ball? Just about the ball. Alright, so... Alright, so this game, enjoyment, I mean, there wasn't really anything to it. It was just looking around, reading things. Horror, there was horror? No. Story, that's all there was. Sound design, there was one that the background piano track was pretty nice, but things like the doors opening and all that were pretty grating. And aesthetics, I should clarify one thing. When I said the aesthetic reminds me of the Journeyman Project, that wasn't a compliment. Like, Journeyman Project was fine for 1994. Yeah. Alright, so feeding time. As you can see, I've already played and rated this one. This was before I was streaming things. I'm going to play it again real quickly just for you guys. So this is basically a puzzle game. The idea is to get to the red up there without ever bumping into the white, and you want to do it as quickly as possible. You sort of get a multiplier for doing things quickly, and you lose your multiplier if you bump into the white walls. There's really not anything to it. It's just a sort of basically a coordination test. No horror to it, no story. Okay gameplay. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to this, as far as I can tell. Alright, so next up we've got Die a Hero. Mods, mouse is look, left click is attack, right click is interact. I feel like I just skipped an intro by clicking on it or something. That Paper Mario aesthetic. Sort of bugs me that they're just sort of spawning at random places, even when I can see them. There's a cat paw coming up under the door. Meow. I guess somewhere in here there's going to be something that tells me what the code for that is. Is that what I'm supposed to be doing, maybe? Just finding that code. I think this game is a great example of less is more. If there were fewer enemies, then I would definitely be more afraid of them rather than just being annoyed by them. So I have died. Okay. So enjoyment, felt nice. Horror, like I said, if there were fewer of these zombies, like it was just a crowd of zombies, and I realize that a lot of zombie things are crowds of zombies, and I don't like a lot of zombie things. If there were fewer of them, then they would be less annoying and more scary. Story, I'm going to give it a 3 just because I appear to have accidentally skipped any story there was. Sound design, aesthetics, fairly... I'm going to give actually aesthetics a 5. They use the Paper Mario zombies look pretty well. Alright, so that was Die a Hero. So, in Limbo. Okay. Wands move, shift to sprint, E to interact. Left to fire or charge your swing, right mouse button to aim, space to pump or cock your weapon, only in hard mode. Play this. I've definitely seen that intro. Were there 2 games in this that used escape action? Oh, the screen tilts bizarrely. I wonder if that's intentional. Alright, so that's just a black hallway, I guess. So that one's locked. That's where I started. That was the room with the boxes. Let's see what's down here. Oh, this is the room with the boxes. So what is this thing? Also the room with the boxes. Alright. Hey, it's the exit. I won! Yay! Oh. Key must be somewhere around here. Is it in one of the goddamn boxes? Oh, it's on one of the goddamn boxes. Isn't that where I needed to go? No, this is where I needed to go. That was cute. my wrench? I went over here and pressed E, and then it vanished. Was that a bug? A wrench anymore. Hi. I'm just gonna run past y'all. Honestly, I think sprint is overpowered. I really should be able to run past these guys. I think staying and fighting them would be harder. Streaming, by the way. Oh, they're still here. Doors are a much more powerful weapon against zombies than that wrench that I don't seem to have anymore. Okay. Oh, thanks, Faison. You press Q. Alright. Did I die? Maybe? No? Are you okay? Hey, I killed one. Die after that amount of shots. Okay, so that was actually really good. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. I forgot to redo it after one of my previous games that had a very small window. Okay, so that game had actually a really good aesthetic. Oh. Very simple models, but the lighting and the colors and it all worked together in a really nice way to make it feel like it looks better than the graphics necessarily did. I think the zombie enemies were used effectively. Like especially the one little moment when the one peeked around the corner. That was actually, I really enjoyed that. The game was the game was difficult, but I never felt like it was cheating me out of winning, which a lot of the games have had that issue in this. So yeah, that was actually quite good. So yeah, horror. Yeah, that one had some horror. Story, I think, is going to be the weakest area. Didn't seem to be much of one. Sound design worked really well with the aesthetics. So yeah, it was one of the best ones I've seen in this in Screamortality. All right, so that was in Limbo. Search Party. Oh, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games left. I'm probably gonna be actually looking at the time. I think I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these in another stream. Because I'm gonna have to go to lunch soon. So yeah, that's been my stream. Thanks for watching. Thanks for letting me know how to get the wrench back. Yeah, I'll see you again next time. Until then, this game will be posted up to my to my YouTube channel, which I'll link that in the Screamortality Discord and all that. Follow me here and subscribe on YouTube for more content related to game development. I've been Ray, signing off.